Taurus, I'm Ellie with PsychicFuture.com and this is your horoscope from the 24th to the 30th of September. So hopefully you had a nice autumn equinox and managed to do some harvesty things over the weekend, maybe got together with some friends or family. If you haven't yet, then you've still got time. There's also a blog post up on the Psychic Future website if you want some tips how to celebrate the autumn equinox. So now this week the sun is moving from Virgo season into Libra season, and a lot of the time we think about Libra as being a very personable kind of sign, somebody that likes art and music and is very charming and good with people and, you know, good conversationalist and likes to dress well and these kind of things. But a lot of this is quite superficial and it doesn't really give the full meaning of the sign of Libra. So I want to just try and bust some of those myths a little bit for you. So if you think about the autumn equinox, like we talked about last week, this is the time of year when the days and the nights are of exactly equal length. So this is reflected in the sign of the scales with Libra. And a lot of this is to do with a reflection of things. So, for example, Libra rules relationships. It's ruled by Venus, so it's your ruling planet as well. So you guys are kind of sister signs in that you have this real focus on the relationships in your life, and when those are flowing nicely, then you feel happy, and you know you focus quite a lot on other people. And that's a really good thing. But what this time of year is trying to encourage us to do is use that to look at ourselves. So if you think about this whole scales thing, it's a lot to do with truth and justice and balance and harmony. So let's just have a little psychological thought on this. When we like something in someone else, psychology says a lot of the time that is because it is something within ourselves that we are not quite allowing ourselves to embody. So this is a theory of Carl Jung. If you've heard of him, he was a really famous psychotherapist, and he called it projection. So when you meet someone, if you think, wow, they're so brave and they're so able to be themselves, a lot of the time that's because perhaps you're not being brave and you're not allowing yourself to be the person that you want to be. And the reason that you like it in somebody else, or you seek it in somebody like a romantic partner, is because actually that's what you're looking to complete yourself, and you're looking at that as being this nice thing that you find attractive, but it's actually something that you have within yourself that you're just not being perhaps confident enough to really embody. And it works for negative things as well. So if you see somebody and you think, wow, that person's really stubborn, a lot of the time that might be because you're denying your own self to be stubborn. So perhaps when you are a little bit stubborn in things, you kind of tell yourself off a little bit, or say, or you go the opposite way and you think, well, I'll just let anybody do whatever and I don't have as many boundaries because I'm scared that if I am stubborn, then people won't like me. So it's a lot to do with this, and this is the true nature of Libra, is looking at the outer things like we talked about earlier. So a good dress sense and a love of art and music and being very personable and chatty with other people and focusing on relationships. All of this is outer stuff, whereas what Libra season is trying to get us to do is to use this outer stuff to then learn something about ourselves in this nature of reflection and balance and harmony. It's trying to get us to become whole. So these are quite deep concepts, and you might be like, well, this is too much for the beginning of Libra season. But if you think about Libra season is leading us on to Scorpio season. And as everybody knows, Scorpio season is kind of like the dark one. It's we're the time of year in the Northern Hemisphere where the days are getting shorter, it's colder, it's darker, and we are being encouraged to go within, because at the end of the day, what more have you got to do when there's very long nights and there's short days? There's not as much work to do traditionally. And it's all about thinking and sleeping and going within. So Libra season is trying to prepare us for that, essentially. It's trying to get us to look at the things around us and our external relationships and material things and what we see in our environment, and then learn something about ourselves so that we can become more whole. So for you, Taurus, perhaps focus on those things that I mentioned, things like self-worth, do you ever meet somebody and you think, wow, I'd love to be that confident in myself? Or, you have a friend perhaps who has really strong boundaries and she doesn't let people push her around, and, she's got very good relationships because of that. And you think, wow, I wish I was like that, but actually I'm a little bit kind of soft and I let people do whatever they want because I'm scared that they won't like me. This kind of theme, it's really good in this, particularly in this first week of Libra season, to just ask yourself those kind of questions, like, what do I like in other people that I would like to embody more in myself? Or, you know, what don't I like in other people that perhaps I need to allow myself to feel a little bit, you know, and not beat myself up for having these negative feelings. So yeah, this is a really good time for actually just getting to grips with some of this stuff and preparing you for next month, which is Scorpio season, where we're just going to go really deep and find out loads of stuff about ourselves and yeah, have all this kind of inner wisdom revealed to us. So yeah, ask yourself these questions this week, and I'm going to pull you a tarot card. I've got these lovely little miniature tarot cards that I bought myself for my birthday. So yeah, I'm going to pull you one of these. Let's have a card for Taurus for this. Oh, what was that? Oh, very nice. The Ace of Cups. Some of you have got a bit of romance on the horizons. That's nice. And if it's not romance, then it is a new passion for something. There is a new beginning that's going to make you feel very emotionally deep, and is going to make you feel very abundant in your feelings, very warm and loved. So yeah, this might be like a new person coming into your life. Perhaps you're going to meet someone. It might be taking your current relationship to the next level. It might even be discovering a new passion that you never knew you had. Like, you know, you take up drawing and you think, wow, I wish I'd done this. This is making me feel so good about myself. So try and look out for that stuff and go with it. Try to just trust and let yourself kind of flow with these new feelings that you might be having, because yeah, they'll take you to good places. Right, so have a lovely week, Taurus, and I hope to see you next week. Much love.